Hello guys, I hope that you are doing good and continuing our Shakespearean drama series. Today we will study Merchant of Venice by our one and only William Shakespeare. As you can see in the background of the screen, the beautiful city of Venice is there, which is in Italy, and this city forms the background of our story. So let us start our play. So let us start with the major characters of the play. The first character is of Antonio. Antonio is the merchant of Venice. He is generous and lends money from Shylock for the marriage of Bassanio. The second character is Bassanio. Bassanio is Antonio's very close friend. He seeks to marry Portia and he asks money from Antonio so that he could woo Portia. The third character is of Portia. She is a wealthy heiress and bound by her father's will to marry the suitor who chooses the right caskets. She is intelligent, witty, and also resourceful. The fourth character is of Shylock. He is a Jew moneylender. He is often portrayed as both villain and victim in this play. He demands a pound of flesh from Antonio if he is unable to return Shylock's money. The other characters of the play are Granatio. Granatio is Bassanio's friend. He is very lively and talkative. He later marries Porcia's maid Nerissa. Then we have Nerissa. She is not only Porcia's maid but also her major confidant. She cleverly aids Portia in carrying out her plans. Then we have Jessica. Jessica is Shylock's daughter. She elopes with Lorenzo and also takes Shylock's wealth with her, and she even later converts Cersei into Christianity. Then we have Lorenzo. Lorenzo is the lover of Jessica. He is also friend to Antonio and Bassanio. She he makes Jessica flee with him. Then we have the other characters are from Venetian nobility and Venetian officials. The first of them is Duke of Venice. He acts as an authority figure and presides as a judge over Shylock's trial. Then we have Prince of Morocco. He comes to marry Portia but chooses the wrong casket, so he is not allowed to take her as his wife. Then we have Prince of Aragon. He also comes to marry Portia, but he also chooses the wrong casket, so he is not allowed to marry Portia. As every Shakespearean play, this play also has 5 acts, and we will start with Act 1. In Act 1, we find that the merchant of Venice, Antonio, is strangely melancholic. He is very sad. Whereas his friend Bassanio wishes to marry a wealthy girl. Her name is Portia, but for marrying her he needs money. He asks for money from his friend Antonio, but Antonio's wealth is tied up in the ship, and all the ship are at sea. So Antonio decides to borrow money from Shylock. Shylock is a Jewish moneylender. Shylock agrees to give money to Antonio, but he puts up a strange demand. He says that if Antonio fails to repay his money, Shylock may take a pound of flesh from any part of Antonio's body. And this is where the Act 1 ends. Act 2 of the play Merchant of Venice talks about marriage of Portia. Portia's father has put up a condition that whoever chooses the right casket between gold, silver, and lead would win her hand for marriage. The first contender for the marriage to Portia was Prince of Morocco. He chooses the gold casket, which was wrong option, so he was not allowed to marry Portia. The second contender to be married to Portia was Prince of Aragon. He chooses the silver casket and he also fails and is not allowed to marry Portia. Meanwhile, in the other part of Venice, we find that Shylock's servant Lancelot leaves him and he goes to Bassanio to serve as Bassanio's servant. Shylock gets a double shock when his daughter Jessica elopes with her lover Lorenzo, and while eloping, she also takes Shylock's wealth. This this incident negatively impacts Shylock, and he develops hatred toward Christianity when her daughter elopes with Lorenzo. The Act 3 of the play Merchant of Venice starts when Bassanio goes to Belmont to ask for hand of Portia. He also has to choose from the three caskets of gold, silver, and lead. Bassanio chooses the lead casket, which was the right casket, and thus he wins Portia's hand for marriage. Meanwhile, Grancio, who is Bassanio's friend, also get engaged to Nerissa, who is Portia's maid. Meanwhile, a sad news arrives that on Antonius all the ships are lost in the sea. So all the wealth of Antonio are inaccessible to him at the present. Now Antonio is unable to pay Shylock's money which he had taken. Shylock is very much erased and disturbed by his daughter's betrayal and also by Antonio's insults. He is so erased that he asks for a pound of flesh which he had demanded if Antonio was unable to pay back his debt. The Act 4 of the play starts with a trial between Antonio and Shylock. Duke of Venice acts as a judge in this trial. Shylock refuses mercy to Antonio and demands a pound of flesh because Antonio was unable to pay his money back. Portia disguises herself as a young lawyer named Balthazar. She says that Antonio would give a pound of his flesh, but Shylock should Shylock should only take a pound of flesh and not spill a single drop of blood from Antonio's body. This became impossible, and hence Shylock was defeated. The judge stripped all his wealth. All the Shylock's wealth was taken away and given to Antonio. At the end of the act, we find that Antonio forgives Shylock, and he also does not take Shylock's wealth and give it back to Shylock. Thus, he showed a great mercy towards Shylock in Act 4 of the play Merchant of Venice. Thus, in Act 5, we find that Antonio and Bassanio have won the case, and their lawyer Balthazar, who is actually Portia, asks for a reward for her services. She asks for the wedding ring which was in Bassanio's hand. Bassanio is initially reluctant to give the wedding ring, but Antonio pursues to give Balthazar the wedding ring because without help of Balthazar, uh, Antonio would have died. When Bassanio goes back to his house at Belmont, Portia playfully asks for the wedding ring. This makes this makes Bassanio perplexed, and eventually Portia reveals that the lawyer. She was actually the lawyer who saved Antonio from the plot of Shylock. Thus, peace and harmony is restored in the play, and the play ends with love, reconciliation, and a promise for prosperity. I hope that you like the play. It is one of the most famous and recognized play by William Shakespeare. The most highlighting part of the play Merchant of Venice is demand of Shylock. The demand of Shylock for a pound of flesh from a human body is very fascinating, and it has been talk of the town since centuries. So, we are at the last slide of our PowerPoint presentation, and I hope that you like the play Merchant of Venice. And please do subscribe to my channel, Vivek Angrezi Kumar. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.